Hey, hey, this is Ayuma Michelle, and welcome to my channel, Let's with Ayuma. On this space, it's all about empowering you, the progressive woman from around the world, to thrive with purpose. So, if you're new on this channel, welcome. I'm Ayuma. And also, if you're returning to this channel and you've been enjoying the content so far, welcome again. And I'd like to ask you to please subscribe to this button. Please hit the subscribe button and subscribe to this channel so that you can keep getting more and more out of this channel. As I like to say, YouTube actually tells me that many of you who watch this channel actually haven't subscribed. So for me to actually get the support that I need to keep producing this content, it really goes a long way when you subscribe and when you interact with me. Even on the comment section, let me know what you think about my channel so far, and also most importantly, what kind of topics would you like me to cover, especially considering that there's a pandemic is upon us. Please let me know. Just comment below what kind of content would you like me to share with you, right? From my perspective and from my experience, and even just what's going on in my mind and in the world of coaching, or just as a fellow sister, as we get through this, just let me know what kind of content you'd like me to topics you'd like me to cover. So welcome again. So I hope that we've just cleared we've just finished the clarity coaching campaign called Let's Stay Home with Ayuma Michelle. We finished that last week, and I hope that you got so much from it, because it was a donation by Let's, which is my social enterprise, which is my brand. And I just, the whole goal of it was to ensure that all of us get out of this better people. At least with your purpose, with your mission, with your vision, with your core values, you truly know who you are. If anything else, if anything else goes, just ensure that we get out of this better and having a clear awareness of who we are, right? So I hope that you got a lot of use from that. There's a lady who actually told me that she's planning to binge watch it because she's been very busy. So she's planning to binge watch it. Yes, go ahead and binge watch, because the whole purpose of the reason why I ensure that it's available online to you for free is because at any time in your life, you have permission to transform your life. You have permission to live your best life. You have permission to figure out who you are, and to figure out why you're here, and to ensure that you have a beautiful and delicious life, right? So please go ahead and binge watch as much as you want until that content makes sense. It might not make sense at first, but go back to it and it will make sense at some point. At some point, there'll be a convergence. So today's video, I was wondering, like, what kind of content should I cover, especially after that clarity coaching campaign, and especially with the heightening of this whole situation of the pandemic. I asked myself, like, what kind of content am I watching? What kind of content do women need? Would you find meaningful? And I don't know about you ladies, but I've just really been in a space where I am like, I'm getting not frustrated, but overwhelmed with all of these webinars that are online, with all of these videos that are online. And I'm just wondering, who is speaking about now? Who is working with me now? Who's offering me advice on how to navigate this situation now? And I realized that that's also what I needed. So do you ladies, is that the kind of questions you're asking yourself? Is that the kind of content you're also looking for? Please let me know, because I'm also navigating this, and I want to know how to offer meaningful content to you based on what is actually relevant right now. As you know, this is a whole new normal. We are trying to figure out, what does this new normal look like? What animal is this? So please let us collaborate, and let us partner, and let me know what kind of content you need. So when I was thinking about the first topic that I would share, I want to share more conscious, more present, more as we walk along, as we walk through this type of content. And so I just wanted to share with you ladies today how I'm actually staying motivated during this quarantine, during quarantine, during isolation, during whatever it may be. I just wanted to share with you ladies how I've been doing and how I'm actually staying motivated, because I know many people think coaches are perfect, or that people are all perfection, especially if you just go on social media. Many people are trying to, put out there that things are okay, we are doing all this fun stuff. But I just wanted to keep it 100 with you ladies. And this is what I am doing to stay motivated. So I don't want you ladies to literally take this as a must. It's just, see it as just something that could inspire you to do it your way, because we are very different people. So may this be an inspiration for you to be able to do it your way. And whatever you find meaningful, whatever you find inspiring, feel encouraged to interpret it in whichever way makes sense to you in this moment, right? So here we go. So the first thing I've actually been doing to stay motivated during this season. First of all, I'd like to admit that it's not been easy on me, because I'm an extrovert, so that by itself just lets you know that just that thing of not being able to connect with my friends, to meet with people, to just being able to move, mobility, to me, I'm realizing how important it is to me. Mobility, connecting with people face to face, sharing meals with people. I love food. So just being able to buy a nice meal and share it with somebody, that has really been hindered. Even how I coach, I actually prefer coaching one-on-one my clients over coffee or over tea or over something nice at a nice hotel or at a nice cafe somewhere. But that has been interrupted. And, but all in all, I'm just so grateful that I'm in a space where I have a strong roof over my head. I have access to I have a strong roof over my head, a beautiful one, which is actually an answered prayer in my family. And then, just being around my family. Right now, I'm staying with my loved ones, my family members. And I'm just so grateful each day that I have family. Like, I don't even know how I would be if I was by myself. And then also just being able to I keep hearing so many experts talk about when all this is over, but no one knows when this will be over, right? No one knows. So none of them is actually an expert. And I realized just giving God thanks and all the glory, because God is the expert. He is the one who knows when all this will end. He is the one who knows what we need now and how we'll navigate this. So just so grateful for my faith and having a God I can depend on, who knows the end, who knows the beginning and the end, and with whom that every time I read his word and any time I pray, I receive direction from him and instruction from him as to what to do now, because he knows what the end is. So whatever he's telling me now is relevant to then. You get what I mean? So those are the things I've really been grateful for. And let me know, what are you grateful for? Please comment below and let me know what you're grateful for. So the first thing I've been doing to stay motivated is actually minimizing how much news I watch. I try to only watch one news bulletin, and from a trusted news site, which keeps news short. Like, a news bulletin should be not more than, a long time ago, news bulletin used to only be 30 minutes, but nowadays it's like an hour. Anything beyond 45 minutes and an hour, I do not watch, because that's too much for me. So I know in the news they overemphasize on the number of new infections and deaths, but for me, I try to focus on the recoveries. That's something that they underline, that they under-report. Focus on the recoveries, because if you keep focusing on new cases and deaths, it's like, oh my gosh, it's catching up with you. That's what it tells your mind. But then if you focus on recoveries, it lets you know that there's a release, that there's a way out. So it even gives you something to thank God for. Thank God for the X number of recoveries. And that trains your mind to know that there's a way out of this. And also, I make sure that even with regards to news, I have already talked to my loved ones about my mental health and how literally whatever I feed myself with in terms of even media, like I avoid movies and shows that have a lot of violence and stuff like that, because it literally triggers a lot of mental health issues. So I try to watch more like TV shows, nice fun shows, nice documentaries, things that do not have violence, because that triggers my mental health. So that's the thing I do with regards to news and media. And then the second thing I do is to stay motivated during this pandemic is I actually gift myself with rest. I am a type A, especially when it comes to my work. and in terms of my creative projects, I'm that kind of a person who needs stuff to be done before I even sleep, because when I go to sleep, I'll still be processing that project. I'll still be working in my mind. Like, my mind rests when something is finished. And because I am that way, and it works well for my work, but in times like this when I need to rest, sometimes it can work against me. So I am learning that I am not valuable, and I am not only worthy when I am busy. So I consistently have to remind myself that, Ayuma, being busy does not mean your worthiness. You do not find your worthiness and your value in being busy or looking busy. So there are some days I wake up and I just do not feel like working, and I just don't. I give myself permission, and I keep telling myself that Ayuma, your worth is not in busyness. You do not get your worth from how busy you are. So I've been allowing myself, my best type of rest, to be honest, is sleep. I don't know how other people rest. How do you guys rest? How do you ladies rest? For me, my best rest is sleep. So I've been prioritizing sleep in my day, in my routine. Also, I've been allowing myself to do short stints, like short projects, which allows me to pace myself, because I don't know how long this pandemic will last and stuff like that. So I've been giving myself short projects. Like, for example, you saw the clarity coaching campaign, the Let's Stay Home with Ayuma clarity coaching campaign. I did it only for 6 weeks. So that allowed me to know that I have 6 weeks to do this project. After that, let's see how things go. So I'm pacing myself with short projects, so that I am able to know and pace myself, so that I'm able to rest, so that I'm able to adapt, I'm able to shift, I'm able to navigate things differently, right? So yeah, that's what I've been doing with regards to rest. The third thing I've been doing is that I have been taking power walks, in terms of physical activity. I realized at some point, just because of anxiety, I really became afraid of even leaving the house. Like, you guys, even leaving the house, leaving the door became an issue. So, and I realized that was something to do with anxiety. And so I just started going outside just one day, because I live in a gated community, so there is enough space to walk around. If it's to drive, you can drive, but just walking around, there's more than enough space. So even much as there's a curfew, here in Kenya, there's a curfew of 7 p.m. That by 7 p.m. do not walk around, do not be seen outside, just as a measure of controlling this whole issue, to flatten the curve. But even beyond 7 p.m., luckily in the gated community I live in, you can still walk around. You can even walk around at midnight, which is quite nice, because my mind behaves completely differently in the afternoon and the evening. I am more rested. But also the air is so crisp and fresh. I do not love city life. You ladies, I already told you I'm not a city person, so I'm living outside the city. So the air is crisp, it's fresh. I see the moon, I see the stars. Like, there's just beauty everywhere. I'm able to hear animals and stuff like that, birds, crickets. That beautiful symphony of the night really does amazing stuff to my psyche and to my mental health. So taking power walks I do it once. I do it like on intervals of, like, like yesterday I went for a power walk, so today I won't go for one, then tomorrow I'll go for one. And so what this does is that it allows me to take breaks, because there are days where I just won't feel like walking around, but it's keeping me fit. I try to do at least 4,000 steps. My phone, I have this Google app which allows me to track how many steps I've made in a day. I try to do 4,000 steps, or at least walk for 30 minutes. So, and also during these walks, at first when I started the walks, sometimes I pray. I just speak with God, because sometimes I just feel like I don't know how else to do this. Sometimes I pray during these power walks. Sometimes I just talk things out with God, and I ask him questions. Because I think many people don't know that they can ask God questions. God is a very conversational God and a very relational God. And sometimes the way religion has taught people is that God, you're just supposed to take in stuff, but you're supposed to be passive but not active, that you can't ask questions. For myself, I have questions all the time, and I ask God all of these questions, and I trust him to reveal the answers to me in his perfect timing. So sometimes it feels good to just be able to ask a question. That in itself is a release, just having permission to ask questions that you don't understand. And also nowadays I work quite a lot with my little sister. I work with her. We just share what's going on with us. You know, it's very important to walk through this journey with somebody, you know, an accountability partner, somebody with whom you can share, this is what I'm thinking, these are the scary thoughts I'm having, this is what I've been feeling really anxious about, this thing made me angry, but also these are the things that are exciting me, this is what I'm grateful for, this is what I'm realizing I'm so grateful for. You know, it's good to go through this process with somebody. And in some way, because I've realized how important that is, I guess that's why I'm taking this new initiative and this new approach of being that person, even though it's online, being that person with whom you work with. And so that's why it's really important that I let you know that within, even after this video premieres and publishes, I'll still be available for 30 minutes just so that you can ask questions, I can answer if I have the answers, or you can just know that this is a space in which you can ask questions. Even if you have the answers or not, just know that we can still interact. So just know that even when this video premieres, I will actually be there on chat, waiting. If you ask a question, I will answer, I will read it. Just know that there is somebody with whom you can talk things out with. Yeah. So yeah, I'm a verbal processor. So for me, I process things verbally, you know, good and bad. And also my love language is quality time. So that's why I like taking those walks. And also just words of affirmation, just hearing from God that, you know, I know the plans that I have for you, plans of a great future and of hope. You know, hearing words from God about, you know, I will watch over you with my loving eyes on you, and I will counsel you all through. You know, things like those, like it's really affirming, especially during moments like this, because I literally feel those words. Those words are literally my anchor, you know, and just hearing from somebody like my little sister saying that you're not alone, like I get you, you know. So ensure that I ensure that I walk with somebody through this. Yeah. And then the fourth thing that I'm doing to stay motivated during this season is I am intentionally building a strong mind. I'm intentionally building a strong mind. And this is how I literally have tailored my social media to keep my mind focused on what I want to focus on. What does this mean? I am constantly feeding myself with inspiration. I'm constantly feeding myself with motivating words, inspiring words, and the kind of people who are speaking to my core values. So for example, even on YouTube, I have immediately, like when I noticed things were getting when I was getting on that anxious phase, I immediately unsubscribed to some channels. I am subscribed to some channels which are not feeding my mind for this particular season, but also I subscribed to channels which are feeding me and my mind for this channel for this season. On social media like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, I have unfollowed maybe people who have trigger words. Like, you know, if constantly people are talking about violence, if constantly people are talking about the rising cases, if people are constantly talking about the gloom and doom, I unfollow them. It's nothing personal. It's just that I do not need that. I do not need that right now. So and then what I have done is that I have unfollowed some, but also I have followed some. So a very amazing tip that I learned from a friend of mine who's actually my accountability partner for my mental health. He told me that just start following pages on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, even on Twitter that have information or content that just makes you happy. Like, what does happiness look like? Like something that literally will make you laugh. So for example, for me, I love cats, right? I have literally followed accounts which just have cat videos. You know, there are enough home shelters like cat shelters and animal shelters that have videos of cute cats and stuff like that. And then there are others that just have comedy, and others that have you know, like for example, I've been following like a YouTube channel that I followed is, for example, Trevor Noah, because he's funny. He's just really funny, and he has a very interesting way of, yes, he passes across information, but it's funny. So you get, so I need as much dopamine as possible to just keep me going, to keep the depression away, to keep the anxiety away, to keep fear away. I need to literally curate my social media content to a way in which it makes me feel better, but at the same time, it's feeding me with what I need now, right? So just remember, cat videos, like literally anytime I go on my Instagram feed, I just see a funny cat video, I stop by, I laugh, and immediately that changes my entire mindset. You see, so that's what I've been doing, like intentionally doing that. Also, building a strong mind looks like actually napping. For me, resting looks like sleeping. My number one way to rest is sleeping. So I do not allow myself to think or feel guilty that sleep equals laziness. Remember, I'm type A. I'm literally training my mind to know that even when I sleep, I do not feel guilty. Sometimes even during the day, I just have a nap. Who knows, I might even have a nap, later on in this day. But I realize that I need that. My mind needs to rest. And you don't realize how much information you're consuming until you sit down and like literally my phone app tells me how long I have been on social media. So I see, oh my goodness, how many hours have I been on social media just scrolling? But how has that served me? And you don't know what you're exposing yourself to. So I ensure that I'm resting because my mind rests. And sometimes that's also another way of God reaching me. Like I'll wake up and I have a new idea, or I'll have new information that I never had before. And sometimes I have dreams. I'm a dreamer. So I'm one of those people who I dream and my dreams are literally connected to reality, or something that's coming. So yeah, those are some of the ways of building a strong mind. Like a strong mind does not mean, oh, I'm superwoman and I'm getting through this. Please, I do not even claim that title upon myself. I am not superwoman. Please, I am a woman who's doing her very best to get through this the best I know how to. I have never faced this situation. I am creating my map right now and with each day. So I'd love to look back one day and know that I was compassionate with myself and I did it my way. I did not try to put on a cape that I never had in the first place. I'm not superwoman. So the fifth tip is, there are 7 in total. The fifth tip, the fifth way in which I am getting through this is by eating well. When I was really feeling a lot of anxiety, what I used to not eat, like I would wake up and I'd not eat, and then 4 p.m. reaches, and that's when my stomach starts growling, saying, what on earth? So because of that anxiety, I realized I even stopped eating as much as I could. So what I'm doing now is that I'm intentionally waking up to eat. And then if I just don't feel like, lazing around or whatever, sometimes I just go back to sleep. But sometimes I also read a book, sometimes I do something, but I remind myself to eat. And even how I eat is very different because I make sure that I focus on balanced diet and I ensure that I do lots of vitamins. So for example, I do moringa. When I'm feeling sort of low and stuff like that, when I notice my energy levels are down, I take moringa. And moringa, because it's like an amazing supplement. Like it's packed with so many vitamins. And vitamins, antioxidants, those are the things that keep your mind alert, and they give you energy and they just keep you going. Because whatever you eat affects how you feel. Whatever you eat affects how your mind processes stuff. It affects the health of your mind. It affects your wellness. So just ensuring that I remember to eat, meaning my body has something to process, but also the type of food I eat, that I'm giving my food actual nutrients, not just junk, So that's another thing that I'm doing. The sixth thing that I do is managing my finances. In fact, I just came from a call with a friend who's keeping me accountable with my finances, both for business and for my personal finances. And I'll share with you this gift that she told me right now during this pandemic. Focus on the essentials. Focus on the essentials. Don't guilt trip yourself with things that you can no longer access. Don't guilt trip yourself to use money to buy things which maybe you're not even going to use, but focus on the essentials. What is an essential to you right now? And it just goes beyond food, water, and clothing and housing. It even goes to fun. She said that, she gave me advice and said that, what does entertainment look like to you now that you can no longer go to restaurants and have nice meals with people? She asked me, what does entertainment look like? She was like, you need to put money in that because that is serving a need that you have right now, And then also she said that, you cannot go hungry trying to save. So at first I was feeling a bit nervous about how I look at my savings, because all of these experts and people are talking about, oh, times might worsen, things, I don't know, cases might increase by X number by I don't know, September. So that may make you feel really nervous about even spending the money that you've worked so hard to save. But she told me, your savings is for such times. Like these are the times that your savings, all those savings you are putting aside for, this, it's for such times. So do not feel guilty to spend your savings, because your savings were meant for such times, for emergencies. So realize that this is an emergency situation, and so if you have to use your savings, do not feel guilty, do not go hungry just trying to keep savings, right? So these are the essentials. Another thing I've also learned is that I've created a giving fund. Ladies, like, I literally have had people reach out to me to ask me for support with food, not a loan to buy a car, not a loan to buy a house, not for someone's wedding. In fact, the people who are asking me for contributions for weddings, I said no, but there are people who really, really need that help, ladies. There are people who are hungry, and by the time somebody comes and asks you for money to buy food, that is an essential. So that's why I intentionally created a giving fund, both for my business and for my personal budget, so that I can have the capacity to give back. I know that many people in the Black and Latino community know what it is like. There's a thing called Black tax or African tax, where if at all you're a family member who's doing well, suddenly you become that focal point for people to support, financial support. First of all, do not feel the burden to carry everyone. Ensure you also have enough to keep you going. Remember, keep your cup full. But also intentionally create a fund, a giving fund, that then gives you the ability to give. Should somebody ask, you have something to give. Should a relative need food, you have something to give. And remember, you're giving for essentials. You're not giving for luxuries. Like right now, I think having a wedding is a luxury, So yeah, just keep that in mind. Giving, there's never been a more important and crucial time for us to give. Please give. In fact, that's one of my top expenses right now, giving. Because there is no need to, it doesn't make sense to store up so much wealth, and yet the community around you is suffering because they do not have things like food. Is there any sense in building a huge mansion around, for example, a slum? Is there a need of having so much when people around you are dying of hunger? No. So just to remind you, ensure that you create a fund, a financial fund for giving. This is the time for giving. Whatever your money would be going to, other things that are just luxuries and things that you genuinely don't need, put that money in giving. Put that money in giving, ladies. That we really need to give. And the last thing but not least is creative outlet. I have been staying motivated by having a creative outlet. For example, this YouTube channel is a creative outlet for me. It's one of the ways in which I have been using my gift of encouragement. Like I shared with you ladies in one of the videos, I encourage the best when I myself need encouragement the most. You see, just the way you're watching this video, I myself normally go back and watch it, because sometimes I say things that are not from me. Sometimes I say things that are beyond me. Sometimes God literally just says something and I'm like, wow, okay, this is interesting. And I'm like, okay, I'll need to watch this video and catch up with that and apply it in my life. So even the Clarity Coaching campaign, I'm actually also going to binge watch and take that wisdom for myself, because there's new information that sometimes normally comes through during these videos that I also need to go back to and learn from. So taking my own advice, or sometimes his advice through me, that's God's advice through me. So YouTube has been my creative outlet. Baking, I've been baking a lot and cooking delicious meals for my family as a creative outlet. Just yesterday I did baking. I did some garlic bread and some rosemary bread and chickpea soup. These are things I'd never made before. So yeah, I'm just learning how to make these things, and just to make do with what I have, but also just adding a little joy to my life and to my loved ones' lives, just through creative stuff. And then the last one is webinars. I've been attending webinars. I've been sharing. I've been collaborating with various coaches for webinars. To just give back. Like earlier this week, I had a webinar with a lady, an amazing coach called she's a leadership and a wellness coach called Sisi Ojani Bekor. And we did a webinar on an online class about storytelling for community healing. And it was just so beautiful being able to give, and to collaborate and to do stuff together, So those are some of the ways in which I have been doing, having a creative outlet. And then also singing. I'll be like exploring singing very soon. I've been nervous about it, but I have another friend who's also actually the lady who's helping me with my marketing. She's part of a rock band. So she's been encouraging me to get back into my singing. So I'm exploring that. And who knows, I might be singing, in a YouTube video coming near you very soon. So those are the ways in which I've been staying motivated during these uncertain times of the pandemic. I hope that you found something inspiring. I hope that you've learned something new about myself. And I hope that you're finding even much more reason to be very compassionate with yourself as you go through this. You are not alone. We are all going through this for the very first time. Realize that no one has ever gone through this pandemic before. So we are all going through this at the same time and for the first time. So remember to be very compassionate with yourself. Whatever adds light to your life, whatever gives you joy, do more of that. And remember, once you experience what that joy is, give back. Just give back. Remember, there is somebody out there who needs you to see them and who needs you to just reach out to them with love in this season and to give out of the abundance that you have. Giving does not take away. Giving, in fact, adds, because there's that thing that you gain out of giving. So may this be that season where you learn how to be compassionate with yourself, to get through this the best way you know how to and that you can, and to also give back to people who really need it the most. I hope that you found this video to be encouraging. Please share it with somebody, and also like, comment, and subscribe. And comment below. Let me know what types of topics that you'd like me to cover, or what kind of things about me or that I am doing would you like to know more on, or if there's something that I've covered today which you'd like me to go to delve deeper in and give you actual strategies. Remember, I'm a very strategic coach and a very strategic person, so let me know and I'll be more than happy to share this content with you. Remember, this is Let's with Ayuma, your online safe space for progressive women from around the world to learn how to thrive with purpose. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, and share it with a woman who really needs it. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.